So, yeah, that might be fun. That might be fun.
There you go. I added this one, John, yesterday because somebody gave me my new favorite golf word. Patrika, what's your favorite golf word?
I can't really say that on the air.
Does it have more than 4 letters?
I think fire truck has a lot to do with it. So.
Fire truck, we'll go with fire truck because that way John doesn't have to go find the beep. How about your, since you're in the business, what's your favorite sports movie of all time?
That would have to be Pat and Mike. That's Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, and she's the sports lady, which does play golf. It's a whole bunch of stuff with her playing golf, if you guys remember that. That's one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite sports movies.
Awesome. That's a great choice. So I asked this to everybody, but I think you've answered this a number of times. Drive for show, putt for dough. In a best ball, are you showy or doughy?
Oh, I'm always doughy, baby. Doughy. Doughy.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Do you have a nickname that most people don't know?
I told you, it's One Sleeve Darbo.
You did say
somebody make a little ball that you can, like an app, and that you have this little sticker on your ball, and you look at your phone and go, "Oh, it's over there behind the bushes." Why didn't somebody do that?
There you go.
There is a company working on a ball that does tell you where it is. It's
I'm over here underneath.
And finally, since we are the approach shot, in your approach to life, what one rule do you live by?
That no one should ever tell you you can't have your dream.
Amen.
Wow, she's the best guest we've ever had.
Sure.
She had that ready for me.
Did you send her the questions beforehand?
I didn't give it to her.
Too much.
At least it's not rocket science. It was easy. There you go.
That's right.
Thank you.
Patrika Darbo.
I'm going to pass out later.
Man, this has been a pleasure. This is the funnest. And he's right. This is the funnest person we've had on the show yet to date.
True joy.
And we will definitely have you back and do some in-depth conversations about George Lopez and all the work he does with golf.
That would be wonderful. Yes.
And, we look forward to that time and good luck. And hopefully, when's the revolution going to come in California? And you people are just going to say, "Hey, I don't care who you are. I'm going out."
I'm really not sure. It's very hard right this moment. So it's so convoluted, and we really have to come together as a nation, no matter what we do, just praying things get better. But, you have to come together. I mean, let's consider it World War II and how we all came together then. This COVID is World War III. So
yeah, definitely.
Right. Amen.
All right. Well, on that somber note, there you go.
Let's bring it back up.
Oh, Patrika Darbo, thank you so much for spending time with us here on The Approach Shot.
Thank you so very much. Take care, and I look forward to coming back.
Yes.
Look forward to having you.
Now I have to go. How the hell do I get out of here?
Yeah, we still have Golf is a Funny Game coming up. And in fact, hang with us because it's coming up next.
What's wrong, Bunky? The holidays are over and you're feeling blue? Snap out of it. There's no shortage of collegiate and professional sports action, and there's no better place to get in on all the action than with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. If you haven't tried out DraftKings Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Hi, it's Neil Michaels to tell you that to celebrate this year's football playoffs, DraftKings is giving all new players the chance to bet on any of this weekend's professional football games at 100-1 odds. You heard right. Bet $1 on any football game this weekend, and if your team wins, you win $100. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code APPROACH when you sign up to get 100-1 odds on any football game this weekend. That's code APPROACH for new players and get a shot at $100 on any football action this weekend for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hello, it is time now for You say, golf is a funny game. Back to your hosts, John Ashton and Neil McCalls.
Ooh, hey, John, we better introduce Mr. Big Voice to some decaf. What do you think? Wow.
Yeah, man. Well, he's your friend, so there, you take care of it.
Hey, it's time for Golf is a Funny Game, and today we have on a very funny lady who is an actress, comedian, and the host of not one, but 3 podcasts. It's Anais Lucia.
Hey. Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
A pleasure to have you. My favorite, she does 3 podcasts, John, and my favorite of which is called Quarantine Happy Hour, and partly it's my favorite because A, it's funny as hell, and B, she gets to say whatever she wants. So
it's my time to vent, like anything that's been pent up, and that's where I let it all out, and that's why we have a drink. Because sometimes I'm like, I need to have a drink. I'm stressed out, and I feel like people who listen to that podcast probably think I'm like an alcoholic, but it's like, no, the only time I drink is pretty much that podcast. But because I drink like every podcast, they're probably like, oh my gosh, she drinks all the time. It's like, no, just that podcast.
And the fact that you do 20 of them a day probably doesn't help either. So what do you think, John? Should we try that? Should we try just being able to like say whatever we want?
Not if we want to keep sponsors. No.
Yeah, that's true.
We really shouldn't. Speaking of which, this particular edition of Golf is a Funny Game is sponsored by DraftKings, which is America's best sportsbook app.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
So I wanted to mention to our listeners that we're recording this on January 13th. In my experience, everybody on the planet stops doing their New Year's resolutions on January 15th. So everybody's got 2 days to just crap out of whatever they had thought that they were going to do. Madeir, did you have any New Year's resolutions?
I usually don't make them because I feel like it's kind of a curse for me. I just call them goals because I feel like I'm going to be more likely to stick to them if I just call them goals. So I guess one is just to, be a little bit less disappointing to my parents this year. I just happen to like everything that's going to disappoint my parents. Like, oh, I want to be an actress. I want to start podcasts. I want to do stand-up comedy. Like none of these things that, parents wanted their firstborn child to do.
Get a real job.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't want to. I'm a rebel.
And they have to wag their finger while they're saying it too.
Losing weight is like a common one for a lot of people. For me, like people might see me and be like, oh, you're like fine in terms of like weight, but you don't know like my family. You don't know where I come from. Like my sister, like my cousins, my female cousins, they look like freaking models or like tall, skinny. And it's just like, I'm 5'4". I'm not like stick thin like them. So I'm doing like my own liquid diet. Okay. So, got into plum wine, margaritas, that's a kind of liquid diet, but it's not working. I don't understand why it's not working. So, I don't know if your parents, if you're the favorite, if you're the favorite in your family, but I'm the oldest in my family, so I'm definitely not the favorite. We firstborns, we get blamed for everything. So I definitely, experienced that. Like I got blamed no matter what my younger siblings did. It was always my fault, whether or not I was there. And I got so used to being blamed for everything that when 9/11 happened, like I thought that my parents were going to blame me. I'm like, I know, like I'm like, they're going to find some way to blame this on me. I was preparing myself. I was 15 when that happened. I'm just like, I know they're going to find some reason that it's my fault, even though I was in Arizona when it happened, but it was somehow my fault. So I was just preparing myself. I know like my youngest sister in my family is the favorite, I think that's pretty common. I think most people love the baby. It's like, oh, she's so cute. They can do whatever they want. Whereas like the oldest, they're not allowed to do anything. Are you guys like, what's your order in the family?
I'm number one. And I have a sister who hated me because she always grew up as my sister. Oh, you're John's sister. And she was like,
so she was living in your shadow.
Yes, she was. She hated every minute of it.
I'm the baby, and I disagree with everything you said.
Really? You're not the favorite?
No, I remember my parents used to tell me as I was growing up, that you need to be a doctor or a lawyer. So kind of like you, the disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a podcast and be a DJ.
Yeah.
Well, we've always got your brother.
No. Yeah.
If you're a disappointment to your family, how come you do so much research online about your family?
Yeah, because my parents didn't really want to tell me anything about her background, whether, I don't know if it's because they didn't want to or they just didn't know, but they weren't curious enough to find out. So I was like, I'm going to find out. So I found out that my great-great-great-great-grandmother, 4 greats, I don't know how many I said, but 4, she was an accused murderer. She was acquitted. So, she just accused. And I was like, I wanted to be related to someone cool, like maybe some royal or something, because I know I have some from like the UK, some ancestors from the UK. But I was like, great, accused murderer. That's wonderful. That's what happens when you kind of dig too deep. She was accused it was in New York City. After she was acquitted, like everyone like hated her. She was like shunned by the community. So she escaped to Mexico. There's several books written about her. If you look her up, Emma Cunningham, that's her name. Shout out to Emma Cunningham's ghost. Shout out to my ancestor. But yeah, there's several books written about her, and of course I had to read them. Apparently, like, her evilness didn't really stop. Apparently some other people mysteriously disappeared. She had other lovers and that mysteriously disappeared, but she was clever, okay? She never got like convicted of anything. So I'm like, she's pretty smart, She might have killed people, but at least she was smart enough to not get caught. So it's something I can bring up on first dates if I don't like the guy. Like, hey, so this is in my history, so you don't want to mess with me. Just saying, like, and that's why I haven't been on a date in like 2 years. So. Yeah. So.
Oh, honestly, we got only a few minutes left. Why don't you, a little shameless self-promotion, give us the names of all 3 of the podcasts and how people can check you out and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, so yeah, I have Quarantine Happy Hour, where that one's a little bit more random. I have guests on in every episode, and I just talk about whatever I feel like talking about in that moment. And I usually have a drink, so, you'll hear me kind of laughing a little bit more than usual, being a little bit more stupid than usual. And I have my How to Relationship podcast, and that one I am always sober. So on that one, I have couples on who have been together for at least 10 years and find out, how the heck do you not get sick of each other and still love each other? Because I don't know how to do that. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know how to do that either, check it out. It's really awesome. The couples are amazing. I learned something from them on each episode. And then I have one for my favorite band. That was my most niche podcast, but it's actually my most successful one. It's called Musecast. It's about my favorite band, Muse. They're from the UK. And I just talk about them. There's different, sometimes we might talk about an album, we might talk about, like, I did one episode about how they've been together for more than 20 years. For me, it's a mystery how people can like be together in a friendship or relationship for a long time. So I'm always like, how does this happen? So yeah, if you like Muse, check out that podcast. Cool. And then I also have if you look me up on YouTube, I have my YouTube channel there where I do like random YouTube videos. And I also have a TikTok, Girl and Her Shiba Dog. I'm almost at 100 followers. Help me get to 100. Come on. I need to be TikTok famous. Let's go. That's actually one of my resolutions. I need to be a TikTok star. So come on, help me. and follow my dog too, at Naughty Shiba. Can't forget him.
That's right. Got to get Shiba in there. All right.
Anais Lucia, thank you so much for coming by today on Golf is a Funny Game, sponsored by DraftKings. Thanks so much for coming by and visiting with us.
Thank you for having me on a sports podcast. And people are like, why are you on a sports podcast? Like, I don't know. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Funny.
First for everything. So.
We appreciate it. But we're not done. There's plenty more. Hang out. We will be right back.
I can't get my computer to work.
Let me help you with that.
How'd you do that?
I just got techie with Geeks on Site.
Our geeks literally come on site. No need to stop what you're doing or block off time. We come to your home, office, or wherever you are. And we don't just fix whatever computer issues you might be having. We explain and teach you along the way.
We'll help you instantly. Call 877-518-3283. That's 877-518-3283.
This episode of The Approach Shot is sponsored by Blue Chew. Hey guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Well, now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed with BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day